Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Investing Bros live show. If you're watching this and you are a new crypto investor, or maybe you've been investing for a while, but a friend of yours, a dad, a mom, a grandparent, have recently told you that they're ready to invest in crypto and they want to know what their beginning portfolio should look like, you have found the right video. Watch all the way to the end, and we're going to make sure you understand the top 5 coins that every crypto holder, whether you're a beginner or you've been in the game for a long time, you must hold these coins. Stick around for the entire show. We also got a lot of things to discuss today. There's going to be a little bit of news we have to talk about. Also, though, some giveaways and a community trade at the end of the show. So you want to make sure you are over in our Discord to be eligible to win that. But for now, we are going to go ahead and get on with the show. I've lost my intro there, guys. Go ahead and smash the like button, hit subscribe, and there we go.
In a bizarre turn of events, the intro video file cannot be located. I don't know how that's possible.
Wow. It's all right. Teacher, how are you doing today? Even if the intro's not doing well, how are you doing?
Better than I deserve, Tim. Yeah, sorry, bros. I think we may have been muted for that explanation. The file for the intro is not connected.
It's just not there.
It was there yesterday, so
goodness,
mysterious. But yeah, I'm doing better than I deserve, Tim. How are you doing?
Doing good. I guess audio went away for a second. Now it sounds like it's back. Although some people are saying audio. I think someone said it's back now, so I think we're good.
Now,
I'm doing pretty good here, T-Shroom. Again, it's gonna be a fun show today. It's already a good start with no intro going on here, but we're gonna have a lot of fun anyway. Go ahead right now. If you are in chat, I saw somebody make their prediction for what the top 5 is going to be. As you could probably see in the thumbnail, we went ahead and told you the top 2. It's going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum, but what are the remaining 3? Drop your guesses in the chat right now. I'm interested in what you guys think. It might not shock you if you have been watching the channel for a while. Yes, we here at the Investing Bros are the epitome of consistency, but this is mostly for those out there who are newer to the space or newer to the bros, so you guys can hear what we are going to do. But really quickly, before we get in there, I want to make sure to give a shout out to our sponsor of this video. Before we get into those top 5 coins, check out Houdini Swap, especially as we talk about moving portfolios around. If you want to move your portfolio, if you want to save as much money and do it instantaneously, you've got to check out Houdini Swap. Link down below. If you want to prioritize your privacy, make sure to go check out with their newest version they just launched in the last week. This is an ultimate private transact freely swap right here that you can make sure to protect your information while also saving as much money as possible. Go use and sign up for Houdini Swap today. There's actually an interview going to be coming out early next week where we interviewed one of the founders. You don't want to miss it. T-Shroom, are you ready to get into our list of top 5 coins that every person should own? And it should be the top 5 coin of any beginner portfolio. You ready for that?
In the words of the great SpongeBob SquarePants,
okay,
I'm ready.
Was he the original person who ever said that? That's the first ever quote?
No, I wouldn't say that he's the first, but he made it very famous.
He's one of the greats, is what you're saying.
Right. I'm ready.
Coin number 1, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over to my screen. It's going to be none other than Bitcoin. Again, this wasn't the surprise. Bitcoin is the number 1 coin that needs to be in every single person's portfolio. Let's come back to the charts here in just a second, T-Shirt. Let's actually go back to our split screen here. Let's discuss why Bitcoin should be number 1. In case anyone is new here, if you've just come into the crypto space, I am sure if you've heard of no other cryptocurrency, you have heard of Bitcoin. Created way back in 2009 by an anonymous creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, for the sole purpose of bringing power back to the people, bringing money into the decentralized world to where there wasn't one singular entity that could have control of the money, but rather the people would have it again. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, the oldest cryptocurrency, and it's definitely one that you have to have. But T-Shroom, tell us a little bit more. Why is Bitcoin so essential to be in people's portfolios?
Well, because it's the big one. right? If you had to kind of equate it to the stock market, it's kind of like the big seven all bundled into one, right? It's
Yeah.
like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, all built into one in a sense, right? But Bitcoin, I mean, first of all, we would have to go on. We would have to go live for 3 or 4 hours to talk about
Yeah. To
why
give it its due
Bitcoin.
diligence. Yeah.
There's so many reasons why Bitcoin is an excellent part of everyone's portfolio. Maybe not 50% of their portfolio, but everyone should have a Bitcoin allocation, in my humble opinion. But actually, we'll go ahead and weave some news and some breaking news into why, and that is this: French retirement funds can now allocate assets to Bitcoin as an inaugural exchange trade note that think ETF launches. Institutional investors are now on board, and
Yeah.
we did actually see that $407 million worth of Bitcoin ETNs, right, which is the exchange trade notes, kind of the European version of an exchange trade fund ETF, was purchased by the French pension system. So,
Yeah.
state pension system. It's huge. Like that's not small news. That's very very big news. But that is just
And
one
that's
reason.
just the new that's like the newest side of the institutional adoption. We are watching government entities talk about wanting to buy it up in bulk. We have been watching institutions, large companies buy it in bulk. The charts, when we go back over here and take a look, we're about to make a very big breakout here. We talked about this in previous days, but Bitcoin in a formation that could see literally within the next couple of weeks, maybe even before August. Although I'm gonna put my money on sometime in August for this price prediction. But 83,500 is our next target based off of all the bullish breakouts that are coming into fruition. If you're wondering where could I potentially get a buy-in on Bitcoin and how far back is it pulling? Well, right now we told you guys yesterday that there was an order block in play right here around 66,000. And if we broke above, this would become a very strong level of support. Sure enough, you guys are watching as we are on the 4-hour chart right here. We are finding support on this yellow line again. I don't know if you're going to get below this. The lowest I think we could go is 65.5. Not even sure that's how low we're going to go. There's a chance this morning that we are finding a bottom position here for Bitcoin before we make a substantial breakout above this blue level of resistance, going back out to the upside here. Yeah, working on some resistance right in there. But when we break through and start making moves up towards 69,000, it could be very, very quick with a move up above 72, new all-time highs. And again, the next big target, $83,000 for Bitcoin. So it is number one on our list. But some things I want to make sure you understand. We can go back to our split screen here, T-Shroom. Are you going to turn $1,000 into $1 million in Bitcoin in the next year and a half? No. You're not going to do it. The price targets that we have for Bitcoin over the next year more than likely are sitting conservatively around $175,000. I think more aggressively somewhere a little bit above $200,000. While there's always that chance we could actually see a lot more money flow in from institutions and governments to get us closer to 300,000, I'm going to go ahead and put the expectation level for right now is that Bitcoin investment today should roughly be about a 3x for your portfolio. Now, if you have been listening and investing in crypto for a long time, you might be saying, Tim, 3x is nothing. I can do that in a small coin within a couple of days. Guess what? This is the video not for an experienced crypto investor. This is for new investors. Maybe you invest in the stock market. Maybe you have a couple different things. You invested in bonds or treasuries, and you're used to something like 15 to maybe 30% gains every single year. To someone who's coming from that experience or no experience whatsoever, to hear that an investment could 3x in the next 12 months, that is something that is very advantageous. That is the least gaining coin of our portfolio, but it is something that we do believe based off of the fundamentals of where the world's going. Every single person needs to hold Bitcoin. There we go. Boom. Got the boring one out of the way. Coin number 2, also not a mystery. It's going to be Ethereum, T-Shroom. Ethereum is the second one that people should have. Now, before we get into charts and some different details there, for anyone who's new here, why is Ethereum such a powerful token? Why should people be holding it from a fundamental aspect?
Yeah. Well, in the world of finance in general, in the world of investing in general, you have a little hack, right? Which is that the market is there, and the market has done a lot of the work for you as an investor. So what do I mean by this? Ethereum is number 2 by market cap. The market can be wrong, right? So that's the risk in just following the market. But the market has decided that Ethereum is the second most valuable cryptocurrency behind, obviously, Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
in the simplest sense, it is the second best, right? Why wouldn't you want to invest in the second best? And then we also have some more. I wouldn't say this is breaking news because this is just news. But 5 spot Ethereum ETFs to launch in July 23rd. CBOE confirmed. So just getting continued positive momentum for the
Yep.
Ethereum ETF, right? Ethereum will be, and it is the second now, ETF, that spot ETF specifically, that will be approved, that has been approved by the SEC, and that will be going live. There is no other cryptocurrencies that have a spot ETF in the United States market. So that is really important. Ethereum, it's number 2 for a reason, and that's without even getting into all the NFTs, all the meme coins, all of the activity, and all of the legitimate dApps and DeFi that goes on within
Yeah.
the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah, I want to read a chat real quick. Dave Digital, I love this. He says, it's like Tim and T are taking the day off, but they are still live. I get that. Yeah, if you came this morning looking for crazy alpha breaking news, this isn't the show for you. This is for beginners. But I heavily encourage you, even if you are an experienced crypto investor, listen to what's talked about in the show. And again, maybe this is the one that you share with your friends and family who are looking to invest for the first time in crypto. My reason for Ethereum, and you're going to see this kind of play out here, though, we're not here in this portfolio trying to 100x people's money. You don't want to, if you're a brand new investor, start going crazy after tokens that have that high reward but extremely high risk. We want to make sure this portfolio is extremely balanced with safe selections, and that's why Bitcoin and Ethereum are 1 and 2. Guess what else they have in common? They both already have passed all the lines of regulation and clarity. That's going to be something major. I'm not saying that the rest of the crypto space is going to die and go away, but in theory, they could. At the moment, the really only 2 coins we have clarity on are Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we're literally 3 days away at the time of shooting this video from watching the Ethereum ETF launch. That will bring in massive adoption from the institutional space. And so, are these going to be the 2 coins that make you the most money? No, they're not. Ethereum, realistically, everybody, I think is getting between $18,000 to $20,000. Some people disagree with me, but I think that's a nice, conservative, yet realistic price prediction. What the current price of $3,500, that's not anywhere close to a 10x, which some people are hoping maybe it gets to 35,000. We're looking at maybe at best a 6 to 7x for Ethereum. Realistically, though, maybe 5. I mean, 5 to 7, that range is all it is. But again, this isn't for the 10-year-old investor. I'm not telling if you've been around and you know how to trade meme coins, you know how to trade the small caps. I'm not telling you that you have to hold Ethereum, but I am saying when people are newer to the space, having these reliable, safe investments that are going to make them money is essential to get the ball rolling. So Ethereum is our coin number 2, and that ends the beginning levels. Now it is a mystery. Some of you have been guessing in chat where we're going with this. The third selection, I think a lot of people are not going to be surprised, but we're going to go with it. The third selection, I do believe every single beginning investor must have in their portfolio, at least for this bull market, is going to be Solana. Solana is the third coin that is probably going to have an ETF. I just got finished explaining to you that Bitcoin and Ethereum have passed the regulation hurdles that need to be seen for institutions to feel comfortable about being in them. But there's already rumblings and filings happening for the third crypto ETF to be Solana. T-Shroom, tell me more from a fundamental side. Why should people be looking at Solana and be investing in it?
Yeah, Tim, Solana is fast and it's cheap, right? And it's also really good at marketing itself as fast and cheap. So, while Ethereum is seen as more reliable and more decentralized, right? There's no doubt about it. Ethereum historically has definitely been more expensive to transact on, and the speed has always been lackluster. Then when chains like Solana come onto the scene, and kind of give Ethereum a run for their money, folks are very interested in investing in Solana. Of those newer entrances of blockchains, Solana has curried the favor of the market, and that is exemplified by the market cap. it has been
Mhm.
able to get, right? Again, just look at the market caps. They are kind of the cheat code of what the market likes and what they're invested in for the long term. So, speed, it's cheap for the users and for the dApp builders, for the
Mhm.
decentralized application builders. And for investors, it's just a little bit of a no brainer because you would want products in this space, the services in this space that are fast and cheap. The decentralized aspect of Solana is its weakness, but investors don't seem to be deterred by that. So that's why
Yeah.
Solana.
Lee Lisenby saying, "Wow, top 3 market cap coins. You guys are going all out." Yeah, that's the point here, Lee. You got to stop and think about it.
No.
Yeah, is that really boring to take 3 of the top cryptos and say there's a must holds? Yeah, it's boring. But guess what? Why are they top 3? And technically, Solana's not top 3 at the moment. Solana is sitting at number 5 behind BNB and Tether. Now, I think Solana could make its way in this bull market into that top 3 spot, but we have to go back and ask the question, why are they top 5 projects? They're top 5 projects because of how solid they are. Now, I want to make sure to stop right here and give a distinction for anyone who's wondering, or maybe you've heard a little bit about it. Some people have heard the rumor that Solana is a threat to Ethereum. Let me explain why I really don't think that that's the case. Could Solana ever pass Ethereum in terms of market cap? Possibly, but they really kind of solve different problems. Yes, they're both what we call layer 1 solutions. You can build smart contracts. You can build a lot of different things within the Web3 space, games and other things inside of these layer 1 projects. They serve pretty much opposite communities, though. Ethereum, known for their high gas fees, is something that's not necessarily hard to build on, but there's a barrier of entry that most people who want to build a project for cheap are going to look at the prices on Ethereum and say, this really isn't worth my time. What this does, though, is it sets Ethereum apart as possibly the best layer 1 for large institutions to build their platforms on, because there is that barrier. You're not going to get a lot of fluff and a lot of chaos. You're going to see a high level of respect with these projects on Ethereum. I would call it Ethereum, the rich man's layer 1. Okay, that's how you should think about that one. Solana, on the other hand, is the poor man's layer 1. Why is that? Because it's extremely easy to build on. It's extremely cheap, extremely fast. You can get going. Why are we seeing meme coins go on Solana go crazy in this bull market? Because it's the easiest, fastest, and simplest platform to build on. That's a completely different clientele than what Ethereum's going after. But in the same way, just because Burn's Steakhouse is much better food than McDonald's doesn't mean that McDonald's doesn't have a higher profit margin than Burn's Steakhouse. If you were to ask the question, which company would you rather own to put money in your pocket, you could make the argument you'd rather own McDonald's as a whole than a Burn's Steakhouse. But they serve completely different clients. Solana is another coin here that I'm very, very bullish on, having a lot of momentum. If you go to my screen here, T-Shroom, guys, we did this technical analysis on yesterday's live show. If you're interested in it, go check it out. I'm looking in the month of September to hit $300 on Solana, but over the next year, we're probably looking somewhere above 1,000, maybe closer to 1,600%. Now, remember, Bitcoin, we're probably talking about a 3x. Ethereum, somewhere between a 5 to 7x. For Solana, we're probably looking at Solana with this breakout. Best case scenario, probably pushing towards a 9x. Realistically, probably somewhere around a 6 to 7x. This is still good money, but nothing compared to, I'm sure there's someone in chat saying, yeah, but my coin number 479 is going to do a 40x. Good for you. I'm going to remind people probably 7 more times in the show. This is for newer investors. And I'm telling you right now, if you knew today, after not investing in crypto ever before, that you could put $1,000 into a project, walk away and not come back for an entire year, and that $1,000 will turn into something like $7,000 to $9,000 a year from now, that is an amazing investment. It's the reason why Solana is a top 5 altcoin as well, already, and will probably become a top 3. It's safe, and that is the key to new investors. You do not want to have too high of risk when you're brand new to the space. You want to make sure you have some safety to make sure your money does not dwindle down to zero. But I will tell you, that top 3, while it is safe, while it is reliant, that is your safety net. Again, we're talking about between those 3 coins, total, let's say you had $10,000 between the 3 of them, you're probably only looking at a 5x. when you average it all out between what Bitcoin will give you, what Ethereum will give you, what Solana will give you, you're only going to 5x your money. For a top 5 project, let's start to get into some more risky, but what I still consider fundamentally safe investment. It's time for coin number 4. I've seen you guys guessing in chat what you think it's going to be. Once again, if you're new to the channel, you might be surprised. If you've been around for a while, I think everyone knows what I'm about to say next because it's one of my favorite coins for this bull market, and that would be Chainlink. Chainlink is the 4th coin that everyone should have. Before I get into the charts and price predictions on where I think Chainlink can go, because this is the first one that's coming in that will actually make people a whole heck of a lot of money. T-Shroom, tell everybody why fundamentally Chainlink is such an amazing investment for this bull market.
Oh man. So to understand its role, Chainlink's role in this bull market, you kind of have to look at how stealthily it switches the narrative that it's focused on over time, right? So Chainlink starts off extremely strong with being the Oracle chain. We don't talk about how it's an Oracle chain very often, right? But it is the close to monopoly chain of being an Oracle. What is an Oracle, T-Shroom? It's bringing data from Web 2 onto Web 3, right? Think NBA scores. If there's a betting DApp on Ethereum, the DApp needs to know what was the final score of the Lakers versus the Knicks, right? So that is what it does. And so that was the first narrative for Chainlink, and then it now it's kind of evolved into being RWA, and that is really something that, you know, back in the days where people were investing in Chainlink as an Oracle chain, RWA was not the consideration. And then somewhere in between, it also has kind of taken a bit of a lead as kind of the banker's coin in a sense to kind of take a lot of the limelight away from XRP. And I see a lot of XRP folks in the chat. So look, I'm an investor. I could be a wrong investor. I could be an investor who's wrong. Just because I have strong conviction in Chainlink doesn't mean I'm right. But I do think that I am right. I think that Chainlink has taken market share away from the big institutions that XRP was going after. Now, so those are 3 extremely strong narratives, on top of the fact that Chainlink has no association with downtime. It has no association with negative anything, really. And it's been on the lips of some of the biggest and largest financial institutions like BlackRock and JP Morgan in association with partnerships. So Chainlink, a super big, strong, robust, durable name that is also very popular with retail. And username in the chat is always very big on Chainlink.
And let's make sure people understand here. Real world assets. If you have not heard the term, familiarize yourself with it, because it's going to be something that takes the world by storm. Recent estimates have come out, and these are pretty aggressive, but I think possibly realistic, that by 2030, now we're looking forward past a year from now, but we're only talking about the next 5.5 years here. By 2030, real world assets could see a market domination of $16 trillion. $16 trillion could be held in crypto real world assets. All right. By next year, while I don't think it's going to be at 16 trillion, probably won't even be at half of that, could it, though, be realistic that we see multiple trillion, maybe $2 to $3 trillion worth of money into real world assets? What are real world assets? That is where we take things in the real world. I mean, the name's not that creative, guys. It's real world things, and we're tokenizing them. People see that blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, is the future of how the world will transact money, how it will transact business dealings, smart contracts, everything else. But it's taking value from the real world, because while technically speaking, Bitcoin isn't taking any value from the real world, it is technically just a series of code. And when you purchase a Satoshi, you purchase access to a code. The deal is, though, that code is just so rare that it's very valuable. When real world assets, we're actually going to be taking things in the world. We'll be taking baseball cards. We'll be taking diamonds, gold, yada, yada, yada. You'll be actually taking real world things, but putting them into the blockchain technology world. And this is what we call real world assets. It's connecting everything that you can see, touch, and everything on the Web 2 into the crypto, or what we call Web 3.
Uh-oh.
Apple, BlackRock, Microsoft, several others who are some of the top companies in the entire world saying Real world assets is the future. You absolutely should be looking at them. Now, we're going to give you in a couple of minutes here some honorable mentions before you tell you coin number 5, because this real world asset space, there's so many coins that I really like and I personally hold. We're talking about ones like AVAX and Ondo and VeChain, Mantra. There's so many out there. But for the sake of a simple video, choosing only 5 for a beginning crypto investor to choose, the coin that will benefit the absolute most from this real world asset movement is going to be Chainlink. So we chose one from that world. If you want to invest in more, go for it. But Chainlink is the one for you. Go ahead and go to my screen here, guys. Here, T-Shroom. We are in a bullish formation here on Chainlink. That short term is going to see a breakout above $28, probably by September or so. We're looking forward to that, but get ready for the future. This is something people are going to argue with me about, but if it does what I think it can do, currently, Chainlink is sitting out here all the way down at number 15. That is so temporary, it's not even funny. If it only makes it into the top 10, very realistic, I think super easy to do. We're talking about a price prediction somewhere around $200 per coin. Let's just start right there. If you were to buy today at $14.06, you are looking at least a 15x. That is some amazing money, but that's only if Chainlink only cracks to number 10. If on CoinMarketCap it does what I think it can do and get at least close to number 5, if not to number 5, all of a sudden the game is changing, and we're talking about price predictions above $500, possibly even as high as $700. And now we're talking the difference between a 15x and possibly as high as a 50. Do I think Chainlink's going to 50x? Probably not. Let's put the realistic thought closer to $500. But even if that's what we're going to go with, that more conservative side, a coin ranked like number 6 or number 5, we're still talking about a 36x. That is a whole lot of guacamole. Yes, are you going to make big gains from your Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana? Not necessarily. That's why we're throwing in a coin with massive fundamentals, massive potential, and massive gains coming over the next year. Chainlink is going to be your big, big, big money maker. Now, I told you guys before, we're going to do a couple honorable mentions. I mentioned some of them. T-Shirt and I, when we were talking before the show, one of the ones he even said was, he's like, well, should we switch out Solana for AVAX? And that's a very, very good point. AVAX right now is currently the highest ranked real-world asset coin. I do think Chainlink will surpass it. But AVAX is another coin that probably still has some good gains left in it, at least a 15x itself over the next little bit. But we wanted to keep in Solana because, once again, do not undervalue regulational clarity. And right now, Bitcoin's the only one for sure. Ethereum's a couple days away, and Solana probably a couple months away, but they're the 3 leading the pack with the most amount of users as well. So you got to have those big 3 in there. But Chainlink now being on the board, what's going to be coin number 5? Honorable mention to AVAX. Honorable mention to Ondo. That's early. You're a little trigger happy with the drum roll. We got to do some other honorable mentions here, T-Shirt, because a lot of people are going to say, but why aren't you having this coin? But go ahead and start dropping what coin you do think will be number 5. Some people are going to say, and again, some of you are not like this, some people are going to ask the question, what about Cardano? Here's the thing, guys. I love Cardano, but I'm also realistic to understand Cardano does not need to be in a fundamental beginner-friendly portfolio. The truth is, Cardano gains might be closer to like 5 years away, more so than only 1. So if I'm having to limit my list down to 5, Cardano simply is not going to crack that list. Another coin that I'm very bullish on long-term, I see someone posted in chat, but I'm kind of sitting in a similar boat saying, hey, long-term gains still on the table. Next year, just not enough to make me excited. I already have my boring Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I don't need any more boring projects. And Polkadot, unfortunately, fits that category of being extremely boring. Is it going to make gains? Yes. But is it going to be anything astronomical next year? No, it's not. Polkadot is an honorable mention, but just not cracking into our top 5. To end our honorable mentions, and then we will get into our coin number 5, I really flirted, T-Shroom, with throwing an AI token in the world. Into the mix. AI is another big thing that is taking the world by storm. We're watching NVIDIA continue just to melt faces as it goes and defies every odd to go up, up, up and to the right. And this is going to bring us coins like Near, like ASI, Render. And I really, really do love the AI space. I hold a lot of AI tokens. But when you talk about the word risk, I do believe, even though I'm going to continue to hold my bags, I think there's a reasonable risk, T-Shroom, that the AI space is not quite ready for massive adoption in the same way real-world assets are. I've heard rumors from several people a lot smarter than I am that a lot of the big gains we saw earlier in 2023 and early 2024 in the AI space was more to do with hype and excitement and promise of what will come in the future, and a lot less to do with what currently is actually being built and done. So what we see there is the hype got us super high, but until we see real strong fundamentals and development in the space, and I'm not talking about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is going to keep doing really well, but I'm talking about the renders, the NIRs, the ASIs, and others. There's a chance. There's a chance that people going heavy into AI right now might be disappointed. Now, I still plan to hold some, but I'm not going to put it in my top 5 because to me, I'm making this a safe-ish portfolio. I want to make sure I get gains for my friends and family who are new to crypto. I think at this time, it might be a risk worth to some of you, but there's a little bit too much risk at hand in the AI space.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that statement, T-Shroom? Do you have a different thought there?
No, I think it's narrative risk, which we actually don't see a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of different kind of risks out there. I think the entire AI narrative is a little bit risky. Why? Think about it like this. Other than OpenAI's product, ChatGPT, what AI services have you ever paid for or know of other people that have paid for, right? I have had a ChatGPT paid membership, and I use it. And it's cool. It's awesome, right? It's $20 a month. It's not a lot of money per month, but if you're multiplying that by everybody who has their own business, that could be potentially a lot of money, right? But if you think about like AGIX, if you think about FET.ai, if you think about even Render, how many people do you know that are actually taking dollars and taking, USDC, taking Tether, taking Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, and handing it to these AI companies? It's not a lot. Right. And yet it takes a lot of money to buy GPU space, to buy compute, to be able to process AI prompts. So like, for example, Tim, I use AI quite a bit, but a lot of the services are free. Right. I made three or four like fun AI songs for my wedding. These were songs that, they sang about me and my wife as we were getting married, and it was like, this festivitous thing.
I remember.
But it was all free, right? And then I did it all in 30 minutes, and it's awesome, right? There's still a question out there. AI is obviously going to be very impactful. It's going to be very important and prevalent in the future, but will it be profitable? That is still a big question out there. And if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, and you have to be careful.
Crux makes a good point in chat. He said not many people are using decentralized AI. And that's a big detail here, guys. Is AI big? Yeah. Look for businesses to look to replace workers with AI as best they can to raise those profit margins. But they're not going to be looking for decentralized AI. They're going to be looking for centralized AI. They're going to be looking for robots, machinery, things that make their lives easier. That doesn't necessarily translate into the crypto space. Now, I also want to make sure we understand here, guys. It sounds like we're discouraging people from holding crypto AI, and that's not necessarily the case. As I told you, I myself own several AI projects, and they're worth the risk to me. Why? Because I have balanced my portfolio that if I flop in my AI investments, I will still be okay. You do not make a lot of money without taking risk. However, in this case, the point of this portfolio, these 5 coins, is not to have a high level of risk. It's to have a high level of confidence that this money will turn into profit over the next year. So for that reason, AI, is it a good investment? Possibly, but it's not cracking our top 5. Before we move into coin that is there, there's one more I saw that was honorable mention, but T-Shirt, you had a closing thought there on AI?
Yeah, well, I think Crux had the nice closing thought. He says AI shouldn't be in a beginner portfolio.
Yeah.
And I think Render may be the exception to that. And, we didn't even talk about BitTensor Tau, right? Look, the more experience you have in AI, the better edge you're going to have in this industry. But just remember, like, you still got to boil it down to the fundamentals. Why are people and businesses exchanging dollars for these services? And if there's not really a reason, just because there's a lot of users doesn't mean that there's dollars being exchanged. There might be emails being exchanged, which has some value, right? But there's no real. So just think about it like that.
Yeah.
I still am invested in Render and BitTensor and AGIX, right? But it's a very small percentage of my overall portfolio, and I have no expectations of that being the main driver of gains
Right.
for me in 2024.
Right. Yeah. Well, guys, we're about to get into coin number 5. The last one I'll throw out here for a honorable mention because someone said it. And after I say this, we might really limit down what people think this 5th coin is going to be. I don't know if I've seen anyone predict our 5th coin, though, T-shirt. I'm a little surprised. But honorable mention that is not number 5. The last one I'm going to say is Stacks. Saw someone out there say I'm going to put my money on Stacks. Guys, I put my money in Stacks. I invest in Stacks. Once again, a coin that I have a big belief system in. It's a layer 2 for Bitcoin, something I think will be big for the crypto markets. However, what if all of a sudden the Bitcoin sensationalists or purists come out and say, you know what, we don't need all this fluff and extra stuff for Bitcoin? I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a risk that is there. So for that reason, Stacks, do I own it? Yes. Am I expecting to make money on it? Yes. Is it in my suggestion for a top 5 coin holding for a beginner portfolio? No, it is not. And that takes us now to our drum roll T-Shroom for coin number 5. It's going to be what Arson246 says right there. Caspa is our 5th and final beginner-friendly coin. To this point, we have the oldest coin in Bitcoin. We have the king of the altcoin space, Ethereum. We have the hottest coin over the last year and some change, Solana. And then we have a big, big money maker in Chainlink in the real world assets. But to wrap it out, I did want to choose one newer-ish coin. No, this coin's not a month old or 2 months old, but it is in its first ever bull market. And I think Caspa could be that new kid on the block that absolutely does some crazy things and makes people a lot of money. The best part about Caspa, teacher's about to go into the fundamentals on it, but the best part about Caspa, guys, is that it currently is in the top 30. Let me see the exact ranking here so I don't misspeak. It's at number 25 currently. Even though it is not listed on the 2 largest exchanges in the world, Binance and Coinbase. Those days are coming. And I can tell you right now, if it got to 25, without the backing of the 2 largest centralized exchanges, imagine what will happen once it does. I'm very big on Caspa. I'll tell you about my price prediction here in just a couple of minutes. But from a fundamental standpoint, T-Shroom, why is Caspa such an amazing project, and why should it be in people's top 5?
Yeah. So in technology, there's always an evolution, and there's always new founders that are coming from other companies, learning from other organizations. And they're bringing those innovations and that knowledge to new projects. Caspa is an excellent example of the next generation of crypto. Another one that kind of comes to mind is ICP, Internet Computer, right? But Caspa integrates something that has been a hallmark of successful cryptos since the beginning, since 2009, and that is proof of work, right? Caspa is really unlocking the potential of smart contracts. The success that we've seen on Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, it's unlocking all of the Web3 aspect of crypto on a proof of work chain. If that doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. There were some jargon in that. It's essentially taking the best of the past, what we know works in crypto, which is proof of work, and applying the best of what we know from the very fastest and the very newest chains, such as Solana, right? That comes to mind. So it's the best of the past, best of the with a vision for the future, and that's Caspa, and that's just scratching the surface. Jonathan Sopolinsky, the founder of Caspa, has been cited by in white papers by many big crypto projects such as AVAX, I believe Polkadot. Right, and he's also been cited by Charles Hoskinson and Vitalik Buterin, who are notable leaders in the crypto space, and they were both co-founders of Ethereum. It is not a coin to sleep on. It's a coin that is a little bit more difficult to get. You can't get it on Coinbase. You can't get it on Binance. You can't get it on Robinhood, right? But you can get it on Uphold, right, which is actually pretty easy centralized exchange to buy it on. And then there's a lot of other places you can get it too. Be careful because
Do you want to know one of the places that people can get it? That you can get access to it on one of our other sponsors here on the channel, CoinW. This is a trading exchange, which just updated on me. Hold on, T-Stream. I don't know why it did that to me. It looks like it wants me to sign in. So give me just a second. I'll click on that link again. But CoinW, a trading exchange, but also has over 300 spot trading pairs. Spot trading is pretty identical to buying it off of like a Coinbase, but the fees are going to be a lot lower. You can get access to it very easily, and I don't know why, but it is giving us a blank here on CoinW. There's a chance our link broke, T-shirt. Oh, is it working for me now? No, we're here now. Okay, you can go over to my screen here. CoinW, again, one of the sponsors here of the channel. But when you sign up, 30,500 potential in winnings you could get just for signing up with account. You get a free $5 for signing up, $50 for signing up for futures account, and another $50 for the first trade that you actually make. So a free $105 no matter what. But it is one of the places, again, you've heard T-Shroom say uphold. I think Crux said that in chat as well. But you also can get access to the spot price on CoinW, but you got to go check out with the link down below today. Also, when you start trading with CoinW, you will enter into what we're going to make an announcement here in just a couple of minutes. You can enter to win a weekly $50 trading bonus from the bros once you join our Discord. So shout out to them. And again, that's going to be a place that you absolutely can go get Caspa. Now let's take a look at the price action here on Caspa. As I said, newer-ish coin. It was created somewhere back in 2022, pretty much right around the time of the bottom of the bear market. But since then, it has done nothing but make big, big moves to the upside, and we're getting very close to the next big move coming in this ascending triangle that will break out and see Caspa probably make a move closer towards 35 cents. But when we talk about holding this portfolio, that's some big gains for like a trade, for example. I mean, that's a good 90% gain on a trade. But when we're talking about holding this for the long term, the reason why we're bullish is because Caspa, with the fundamentals that it has, and especially once it gets access from Coinbase and Binance, we're talking about at least a movement up here to about $2.60, or what would be from here a 14x in your investment. But realistically, I think this is a top 10 project in the next year and some change. We could be talking about a 24, almost 25x, up to about $4.50 on Caspa. When you pair that with the potential 30x on Chainlink, and then you're probably 5x between your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. T-shirt, we can go off the screen, go back to our split screen. We're talking about a portfolio that's probably be sitting around a 15x or so as a whole, maybe closer to 12 to 15x for your beginner-friendly person, for your grandma, your grandpa, your dad, your mom, your cousin who's technologically impaired. A 15x. A 13x. That is some serious dough. Where else are they taking their money? And in 1 year's time, are they going to see that kind of return? Is that a 50x? No. Are there riskier projects that if people really understood what they were doing, they could turn it into a 50 to 100x? Absolutely, they can. But if we're prioritizing security, if we're prioritizing low risk but decent reward, these 5 coins are so bullish and so easy to understand the profit value that they've got to be the top 5. If there's only 5 going to be chosen, they're got to be the 5 that people are actually using. Now, some people are going to make the argument you probably could even go with less. The reason why we stuck with 5 is because while you need to prioritize security of those top 3, you do need a little extra boost from that Chainlink and that Caspa. But in reality, when we're talking about a brand new investor who really has no idea what's happening, to give them much more than 5 coins is just doing way too much to them. They cannot handle it. They won't be able to think about it. Ultimately, the other goal is not just to make them a 15x in a year from now, but is to educate them on cryptocurrency and investing along the way. Giving them 5 coins, don't worry about anything else, just focus on these 5, is going to be the best winning strategy to help them change their life forever, create generational wealth, and build a future with wealth and finance. So that wraps up our list. In chat, go ahead and drop your reviews. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? I'm very interested to hear what you guys think here as well. T-Shroom, before we get into some Q&A with everybody to wrap up the show, do we have a factoid of the day today? You are muted. There we go. You're
Yes,
still
my
muted.
dogs were
There
barking
you
in the
go.
background. I just wanted everybody to be able to see what we've been talking about. Here is the list right here: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Link, Caspa. Maybe somebody's watching who can't hear and they're just reading along the subtitles and just want to see it. Overall, that's the list. I didn't put the honorable mentions on there, but we also had a super chat here from Big Fish Little Boat, donating $2. Said, "Link equals your favorite crypto's favorite crypto." That's right. Most
Yeah.
most blockchains would not be able to do what they do without Chainlink. It is a pick and shovel play for sure.
Yeah.
And then also sticking with Big Fish Little Boat, kind of made a good point here. It depends how risk adverse you are. Scared money don't make no money. So scared money don't make no money is relative though, isn't it? And this is something that Big Fish Little Boat posted earlier in the stream, when we were talking about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is going to outperform the S&P. That is something that scared people may be repelled by. They may not want to sell Microsoft and Home Depot and Ford and ExxonMobil and buy Bitcoin because that is even too much risk. So scared money don't make no money is true, but it's relative,
Yep.
right? So we have to keep that in mind. But thank you, Big Fish Little Boat. You brought a lot of alpha to this stream today. Getting into the factoid of the day.
Real
Tim.
quick. Let's before we get there, I want to that scared money don't make no money. When we say that these are safe picks, I want to also let you guys understand this. Those of you watching, these are safe because of your level of education and your experience, right? Those of us who have been in this crypto investing world for multiple years, we see the past, we see the future, we understand what's happening. So to us, this is a very safe play with these investments. But take for a second the mind of someone who knows nothing about cryptocurrency. This fake money made out of nowhere. Yeah, I hear people talking about it, but I also hear about these stories of people losing their entire life savings on a crypto. To a person who's never invested in crypto before, these things are knee-shaking scary. Even Bitcoin, it's scary. So when we say that phrase, scared money don't make no money, incentivizing people to take some risks, effectively understand even these 5 coins, when you give them to your mom or your dad or your grandma or your grandpa, this is risky to them. But your job is to convince them that the reward way outweighs the risk.
I love it. All right, Tim, let's get into the factoid of the day, brought to you all by Houdini Swap. If you're looking for a great swap, don't ask my dogs because they're just going to bark.
Yeah, they're just going
Go
to
to
give it a
Houdini
lot
Swap.
of problems.
All right, Tim. When was the HDMI cable system designed? This was definitely the question everyone was expecting. When was the HDMI cable system designed? Was it A, 1998, 2002, 2010, or 2011? Tim, what's your guess?
That's a good question. I don't remember the name of it, but the reason I know it's not 1998 is because if it would have been in 1998 or even I think 2002, I vividly remember, and Tishum, you and I are the same age, and people in our chat probably remember this. I remember, what is it called when you had to plug in the red, white, and yellow ports?
RCA.
What are those? RCA. Okay, so that was the main thing there. There's a chance 2002 is going to surprise me here, and it's going to be that year. I'm trying to remember how old I would have been when I first started using things like that. I feel like maybe it was before 2002, before 2010. So while that seems early to me to say 2002, I think it is what I'm going to go with. Let's rock with 2002B.
All right, I'm seeing in the chat, looks like some people saying A. IMJ said it could have been 1998. Let's find out what it was. 2002. Tim, you got it.
All right,
right.
there we go. I needed to get back into the winning slot because I'd lost the last couple of them.
And it wasn't it wasn't
win for
RCA.
morale.
It's VGA. So I was wrong on that.
VGA. Okay.
Yep. VGA was the red, white, and yellow. Oh no, it wasn't. I'm getting them all mixed up here. I think it RBG.
Listen. You could tell me any 3 combinations of letters and I'd believe you because I have no idea.
HDMI factoid of the day bonus round. HDMI stands for High Definition Multimedia Interface. Bros, you cannot say that you didn't learn anything today. Tuning in to the 11 a.m. stream. We've had some fun here. I've loved it.
JH has a super chat here. Good question. Are these price predictions dependent upon who becomes president? Do you think it matters? You know, it's a good question because if you had asked that question a month and some change ago, I might be willing to say yes, it does. But with recent news we see coming out worldwide, and again, it's something we sometimes get lost in. The most pertinent news in crypto is still American news because America is still the hub of the world, the global economy. It's still something that's really, really big. But when with the recent bullishness coming out of Russia, out of China, out of India, out of even again, while there's been some bearishness in Europe, there's other countries, as T. Shroom explained today, France, for example, making a really big bullish move on Bitcoin. And then you talk about the presidency. Of course, there's the Orange Man, who is an outspoken proponent of Bitcoin. And then, whether or not he steps down or not, there's rumors he's stepping down. But Sleepy Man has recently come out and said he would support crypto as well. So, again, a month ago, you asked me that question. I think, yeah, maybe these price predictions depend upon who wins presidency. But within what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, not just in the United States, but worldwide, I think these price predictions happen no matter who wins. The only thing I'll say on there is maybe there's a scenario where if enough of the right politicians, not just president, is voted in that's pro crypto, but if we vote in the right senators and congressmen in the United States, these price predictions might be low. We might see even more bullishness come in. But I think that these things will happen even if Orange Man does not end up getting the White House. So good question there. That's actually a good time to ask as well. Super chat also from Crypto Crank. Today's price is 100K portfolio, 5 coins only, go. Well, guess what? That was the entire video. And my mathematics there says that with 100K, again, this portfolio is probably going to be a 12 to 15x. So we're talking about a 1.2 to $1.5 million portfolio if you invested $100,000 at all of the prices today. That's my estimation on what that portfolio would do. Now, you want to get fun with it? You want to get a little risky here, T-Shroom? Beginners, close your ears for a second. This is for experienced members only. 5 coins to turn $100,000 into as much money as possible while still using somewhat risk to reward ratio thinking. I'm going to keep Link in there, and I'm going to keep Caspa in there. I like those two. T-Shroom, what are the other 3 that we're putting in there for high risk but high reward, top 5, to maybe get 100,000 into maybe 3 million? I don't know.
I think Ondo has to be in the conversation. I think you do start to get the meme coins in there though, right? Because that's
I think you got to go with at least one of them.
I think you got to get to the meme coins, which if you're a beginner and anybody says meme coins, be very, very skeptical, right?
Yeah.
The only meme coins that I hold are Dogecoin and Ordi, right?
And I'm not going Doge because Elon's been super silent there. You know what?
Doge is up 8% today, Tim.
Okay.
By the way.
Did Elon say something? Because that 8% could turn into negative 8% tomorrow. That's just how they've been working here recently. If I have to choose one meme coin to get in that list, I'm going to go Pepe. I think Pepe is the one you go with there. That's just an age-old meme coin. It was a meme before crypto. It'll be a meme long after crypto. Pepe is probably my risky one there. Last 2, I'm not going to throw AVAX in because I think AVAX is only going to do about a 15x. And the whole point of this is to get a little more risky. Let's go Stacks. High risk, high reward. Stacks could only 10x or it could do like a 30x. It's got a lot of potential there. Last coin. So if I have Chainlink, Caspa, Stacks, and Pepe, last coin that I'm going to use here to wrap out my top 5. It's probably not a coin, anything inside the top 30. I already got Stacks there at number 32. Let's go a little bit lower. You know what, actually? Let's do this. I'm taking it back. We're going to get rid of Pepe. I don't understand why this coin does well. And guys, I'm not a meme coin guy. But you know what? If we're going to go big on the meme coin world, let's at least go crazy big. Don't dump the majority of your portfolio here. But let's go dog with hat. Let's go whiff. I don't understand why it's doing so well, and it is doing very, very well. That's one that potentially, especially if Doge stays boring and Elon doesn't pump it, could you see a rumbling that dog with hat should become the number 1 dog meme coin? I think that's an argument to be made. I might go ahead and go with whiff there. But again, 5th and final one, I'm going, you know what, T-Shroom? Let's go with, oh man. I don't know how I didn't do this. Oh my gosh. How did this coin escape my brain, T-Shroom? We've got to go with Jasmine coin. Jasmine coin, I'm looking at like probably a 30x in this bull market. I'm glad I own it, but I'd forgotten about it today. My apologies to Jasmine coin. Jasmine coin is my fifth coin.
Is this honorable mention or high risk, high reward?
No, that's high risk, but I think good reward. Jasmine coin is my fifth coin I'm going with.
How do you spell that? Jasmine?
Just Jasmine. Yeah, right there. That's good.
Just Jasmine. That's how you spell it. Just Jasmine.
Coin. Yeah, take out Pepe. Take out Pepe off my list. Oh, you're just putting it there just because? Yeah. I'm going to stick with Link and Caspa. I like those gains. But then Stacks with Jasmine, those wrap out my top 5 for a more advanced, more aggressive portfolio. And if I'm doing my math right, again, Link, possibly a 30x. Caspa, possibly a 25x. Stacks, possibly a 25x. Whiff, I haven't even done enough on Whiff, but let's just go with that same boat. Possibly a 25x, even where it currently is. Whiff's price is currently $2.59 with a $2.5 billion market cap. I think it could get up there closer to 100 just because people seem to love it a lot. And then of course Jasmine. Jasmine is one I'm very, very bullish on. Jasmine, I think, is a potential 35 to 40x. So in theory, if things play out correctly, $100,000 of those 5 coins could be pushing $3 million. Now, realize, guys, you're going to be paying capital gains on about $2.9 million. That's going to be a lot of taxes there.
A lot of dough.
So you're not going to just get to pocket $3 million, but before taxes, I think that portfolio could turn $100,000 into close to $3 million if the bull market does what I think it should.
And just for the noobs, right? Because this is a video for beginners, right? The whole mentality in investing in general, not just crypto, is to go ahead and do what the market has done. Like there's some instances where you want to zig when the market is zagging, but in general, an overall long-term investment hold, right? You want to do what the market has already done. You want to look at the cheat code of what is the top market cap, what is everybody in the market invested in, and just invest in that, right? In the case of U.S. equities, it'd be Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple, and you just sit on that. You would have done very well over the last 2 decades, right? Well, over the last 2 decades, you would have been extremely highly competitive with Wall Street. Over the last 5 years, you would have still done well, especially if you've held and DCA'd in during the pandemic era. In crypto, buying Bitcoin, buying Ethereum, right? Though if you just did that alone throughout the duration of crypto, you would have done insanely well. You would have outperformed some of the best investors that have ever walked the earth because of how much Bitcoin has done, and then Ethereum has done extremely well since its inception as well, right?
Yeah.
Now those Bitcoin and Ethereum are likely going to be slowing down and in terms of gains over the next 30 years, right? But overall, you want to get, if you're new to investing in any new investment asset class, you want to just invest in what everyone else is invested in, right? And then just learn, watch the patterns, understand the news of the media cycle. We have a lot of people in the chat that have been talking about that this week because the media cycle has been day to day. And so it's been kind of crazy, but you want your knowledge to be what you gain. You want to focus on gaining knowledge, not necessarily gaining wealth in those first couple of months of investing in crypto, especially because there's so much to learn. So the more you're learning, consider that the primary gain for as a noob, not necessarily the amount of dollars more that you have on the other side of some time scale, right? And then, once you're a year or 2 in, a cycle or 2 in to investing in crypto, then it becomes more about the money because you're competitive. But you can't enter a new asset class and think that you're going to be able to outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum because that's just not the way that any asset class works. There's too much deception. There's too many, slick back, like high sophisticated operators now that are coming in from Wall Street into crypto, or that have been whales in crypto and that have been not scamming, completely legitimately taking money from inexperienced and weak-handed traders. That's happening day in and day out. You will be one of them if you don't start with a solid foundation in Bitcoin and Ethereum and move from there after understanding what Bitcoin and Ethereum is, what blockchain is, and then
Yeah.
starting to move into, the Solanas and the Links and the Caspas. Why are these interesting? Why did the bros like this? Why does so many people in the chat seem to agree with Tim and T Shroom when they talk about these three? What is it, and what's different about those versus the high risk? Those are the kinds of questions you want to be asking, not how do I buy as much whiff as I can today to get 300x? Like, that is just a way to lose all your money, right? If that's what you want to do, then do that. But if you want to have respect for the money that you've earned in exchange for your labor hours, take that money, invest it wisely in what the market has already deemed to be valuable, and learn from there. Seek to gain your knowledge first, and then your gains in money second. That was a lot.
Real quick, before we wrap out away from here, we're going to announce some winners and at least start to look at a potential community trade limit order here. Let's talk. I see a couple people saying that their only real big thought about Caspa on our beginners list. And you guys know a rule that we set for previous videos where we did beginner friendly portfolios, which were a little bit more advanced beginner friendly portfolios, like more for people that have been investing for a couple of months. They said, well, you can't buy it on Coinbase, so maybe we should replace Caspa. And here's what I'll say. Once again, you can get it on CoinW. CoinW is super easy to set up, super easy to use. Highly recommend people, even beginners, signing up for CoinW where they can get access to Caspa. But let's just pretend, for the sake of the argument, you guys plan on having a conversation with your loved one and you're only going to recommend to them Coinbase. I understand it. I get it. I'm going to put my number one replacement in there. It was actually one of the last ones I said, but if we can't have Caspa, let's just go ahead and go with Stacks as our number 6. I really wrestle between AVAX, Stacks, and potentially taking AI at Render. So those are my 3 that are kind of sitting there to take up the Caspa spot. But once again, I think that AVAX upside is semi-limited. 15x, still good, but I don't think that we're going to see AVAX do a 25x like Caspa. I think you got to find a coin that has that upside potential. And I think that while AI and Render potentially could be it, the risk is a little higher. I think Stacks is your number 6 coin that still realistically could replace Caspa for that 25x to make sure your family member does make some good money on their investments.
I like it.
Nigel Condon and Morgan Powell super chats. Can do Inu on Ethereum. Do your research and see for yourself. It's about to become much more than a meme coin. Maybe. I don't know. Do your research, guys. Thank you for putting out that super chat, Nigel. So I take that well, Nigel. You're not just shilling. I think you really firmly believe Kendu Inu is going to be something big. I've never heard of it. I don't think T Shroom has ever heard of it. So we're not going to speak any further to it. Do not invest a penny anybody until you do your research. But if you like Nigel, maybe reach out to Nigel. Try to talk to him. Maybe he can convince you.
I like the name Nigel.
Morgan Powell says, buying the bros a steak dinner if my bags do what I believe they will. Appreciate the predictions. Morgan, I really appreciate that. Don't do it. Don't buy us a steak dinner. Buy yourself some more. Link. Listen, it's going to take a whole year. T-shirt. Our portfolio is going to be crazy up if we're right as well. Join the membership, Morgan Powell. That's what. Instead of buying a steak dinner, invest in the bros and invest in your education by becoming one of the members in our Discord channel. That's a better use of your money because it benefits us, and we can go to steak dinner and you get to be educated. So it's a win-win for everybody. The 2 big winners from our CoinW and Blowfin weekly giveaways. Well, this isn't going to be as cool as we have that wheel, that really cool wheel that goes on for our Friday giveaways for our members. We don't have that. I just have a piece of paper with their names written down that I selected here. CoinW, this is our second winner. The second week in a row we've had CoinW winner. It's a friendly old face. I don't know if I see him in here though. Beast, if you guys see him, give him a hard time for missing the Saturday show. Crypto Sec Guy, he's actually one of the moderators here. He's actually a very good friend of the channel, even though we give each other a very hard time. Crypto Sec Guy was this week's CoinW winner. He'll be getting a $50 bonus over in CoinW. And for Blowfin, and remember, on Blowfin, while we do have a link, we're probably going to be ending the weekly giveaways for Blowfin in the next couple of weeks. So we'll have a couple more of these. But Upside Suzuki, otherwise known as Dylan, you were this week's winner in Blowfin's weekly giveaway. both of you guys, CryptoSec Guy and Upside Suzuki or Dylan, reach out to T-Shroom or actually, this one you reach out to me. Reach out to me on Discord. I will never DM anyone first. So if you're receiving messages in Discord or in Twitter or anywhere else that somebody's trying to impersonate myself or T-Shroom or Crux, that's not us. We don't do that. We have you guys reach out to us. But speaking of, make sure you guys are in our Discord. Right now, if you go to the link down below here, T-Shroom, show my screen. Some great stuff in here. You guys can just join the free Discord with this first link. Let me zoom in for you guys just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Make sure you're at least in our free Discord. You're going to get access to a lot of information. There's a weekly show that Crux does that's going to be in the future going to memberships. But for now, you definitely can get in on a weekly show there as well. YouTube memberships and Brolux memberships. We recommend Brolux memberships. While this is still technically here, you're going to save money if you go with the Brolux memberships. So click on this one. If you want to further your education, learn a lot more about investing, about trading, about how to think about your investing journey and change your life forever with generational wealth. These Brolux memberships are going to do that for you. Click on those today. With that said, T-Shroom, let's wrap up the show. Let's ask the chat. We're going to do a community chat. For today only, I'm going to have you guys tell me what coin and what leverage under 20x. And I will look for a trading opportunity that hopefully we announce sometime early next week. This is brought to you by CoinW. We will be trading with it on CoinW. Let me know in the comments. Start flooding your answers. What coin should we be trading with and what leverage should we be using? Take at it. T-Shroom, as we're wrapping up the show, anything you want to say to the people as we close it out?
Yeah, just in general, I mean, we were talking about security. You know, if an influencer or somebody, you know, does reach out to you, just ask them a security question. Like for me, you know, you might ask, you know, how are you feeling? And I would say, better than I deserve, right? Something like that. Now, does that mean you should trust it 100% of the time? No, but you know that is a good way to kind of ask about that. Also, what a lot of people do in our Discord is they say, "Hey, T-Shroom, did you just DM me?" They'll put that in the general chat, and then you know Crux or somebody will jump in and say, "No, that's a fake account." So just you know, never give anyone any information unless you absolutely trust them. So you know, just a little tip there. In crypto, especially if you're new to crypto, you can make a lot of money, but there's also scams because it's the Wild West, right? You're becoming your own bank in crypto, and you just got to be aware of that. Boom. Seeing a lot of good suggestions here, Tim. Which one are you going to go with?
You know, one of those I saw from Blackie Chan. I really liked it. Hold on. Got a little phlegm there in my throat. He said Injective for a 13x. I actually really like this. Go to my screen here, T-Shroom. Injective just now, similar to other projects, breaking out of a long-term. You can call this a descending channel. You can call this a falling wedge. Either way, the breakout prediction longer term is going to be back up here to 46. However, that could take all the way to September. We're not going to do that. This is one we probably want to see close out in the next couple of days or next week or so. So let's come down here and look at what potentially would be a good entry. Let's start on the 4-hour chart. Let's start on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart and see what we have going on here. We're a little overextended right now. All right. So I do think I want to wait for a small-ish pullback, but it's not going to be major. It's not going to be anything aggressive. It's just going to be a smaller pullback on the 4-hour chart. What I'm looking at right here, if I zoom in, coming away from our oscillators, we got an order block and a smart show coming in at about 25.83. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be our position. We're going to enter along right there, 25 or 87, give or take. Yeah, let's do that. Where should we go with this one, though? So there's take profit right above us right here at about $30. But this could get, if it goes nicely, it could get pretty explosive, pretty fast. We're going to just do it. We're going to do $30. I want to go more, though. I really do want to go more here, T-Shroom. I feel like we easily could just make it. Let's just go here. Let's go somewhere in the middle. We're going to go. I don't want this to take like 3 weeks or anything. I just want to get in and out. Let's go $30. I keep saying it, but I'm trying to talk myself out of it. We're going to go $30.26, the bottom level of this zone that was resistance in the past. That is a potential pretty much 17% gain. Let's give ourselves a 5% stop loss down to 24 54. On the 6-hour chart, technically that is a level of support. And I'll tell you what we're going to do here, guys. This is the play. We're going to enter a trade right here, and we're going to enter another one. If for some reason that fails, I'm not going to let this failure get us out. We're going to have another entry. We're going to do 2 giveaways today. We're going to have another entry all the way down here at 24.86, and we're going to put that stop loss right there at about 7%. Definitely a better trade there. I feel very good about this one entering. Less about this one entering, but if it does enter, I think it's going to be a lot of success on that one. So there's our community trade. Make sure to check in all of next week. I will take, just so you guys know, the winner will be from a CoinW holder. We probably have like 40 people signed up for CoinW. Go sign up today. Start trading in our CoinW Discord. Any single trade you do enters you to win any of our giveaways, but that's only with CoinW. Go sign up today. With that said, though, you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for joining. Smash the like button on your way out. Hit subscribe. Share this video with a friend of yours that either is about to invest or has just invested in crypto and wants some more information on what they should be looking at. With that said, guys, love you. See you Monday. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.